The Community Education Channel presents Community View, a closer look inside community issues that matter. It's a glimpse, a preview highlighting issues and events important to the community, bringing public perception to light on local community issues that make a difference. Hello and welcome to Community View. I'm Melissa Anderson. You know, degenerative brain disease and dementia are on the rise in our country. With us today to talk more about this topic is Mike Miller. He is the regional manager of the Alzheimer's Association here in the Utah chapter. Welcome, Mike.
Nice to be here. Thank you, Melissa.
Thanks for being on the show. Now, first of all, tell us the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's.
Sure. Dementia is an umbrella term, much like cancer is. And so there are many types of cancers and there's many types of dementia. Alzheimer's happens to be the most prominent. 60 to 80% of the dementia cases are Alzheimer's.
Okay, so how many people then does the disease affect?
So it will affect, we estimate about 1 in 10 ages 65 and above, and then 1 in 3 who are over 85. So in perspective, right here in Washington County, that'll be around 4,000 to 5,000 people that are touched by Alzheimer's disease.
And is there any way we can find out if we're going to get it, or is there any tests that can say, hey, you're going to grow up with this or have this when you get older? It usually mainly affects the older population.
Yes, aging is the most common factor that contributes to having Alzheimer's and other dementias. There is really no pretest. And that's one of the mysteries. I mean, this disease was discovered in 1905, and we're still in those early stages of trying to figure out ways to halt it, control it, and keep it from spreading. And as of yet, we don't have those answers. So it's the only top 10 disease in this country where there's no cure and no way to slow it down. So it's very, very tragic.
Yeah, it's very prevalent. That's why we have to take and use resources to try to figure out how to help support people in our community. What kind of resources are out there?
One great thing is support groups. And you have an individual with dementia and then they've got a caregiver. Often it's a 3-to-1 ratio. Those caregivers need support because they're on duty 24/7 and they're always thinking about their loved one, whether they're with them or not. And so a support group is very crucial. There's about 5 or 6 here in the county that people can get involved in and share insight, ask questions, find somebody to talk with that's going through the same experience. People can get involved in research projects. The Alzheimer's Association champions research through our trial match program. They can look that up on the internet and find that and get involved, whether they're young, in their 20s and 30s, because we need baseline information. If they have the disease now, they can get involved in research projects also. And we have some going on right here in Utah through Dr. Mark Supiano up at University of Utah, looking at lifestyle issues. We're not quite finding those medications and issues that'll stop the disease, but can lifestyle impact the disease? And we know that it can. For instance, blood pressure, you want to keep that below 120. And when you do that, this is your systolic number, 120. If you keep it below that number, you reduce your chances of contracting dementia and mild cognitive impairment by up to 20%.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how can people take a stand against Alzheimer's? We don't really know much about preventing it other than the blood pressure. That's a new statistic. I've never heard that before. But how can we take a stand against it? I understand you've got some little pinwheels here.
Yes, we do. We have our big Walk to End Alzheimer's. That's on September 14th at Dixie State. So this is a big come-together event with 400 to 500 people or more who are saying, we want to take a stand against Alzheimer's. We want to fight against Alzheimer's. We're caregivers. We've lost loved ones to the disease. We want to stand out, be a part of this movement. And at that movement, we'll have information, support group people on hand, and other ways that people can learn about the disease, become advocates, because there's still a lot of work to do in the community to share information to healthcare providers and families, but we also want to raise some money, which we do at this walk.
How do you sign up for that?
So our website, alz.org, is the place to go. It's our national website, and right there you see walk visual images people can click on and then put in the St. George zip code, but they can walk in Cedar City. They can walk in Salt Lake City. We have 8 walks up and down the I-15 corridor starting in September going through November.
Wow. So how close are we to a cure as far as your research goes?
Boy, I wish I knew that answer. We know some of the things that happen when people have Alzheimer's, and that would be plaques and tangles that are in the brain, and they affect neurotransmissions. So we're trying to figure out, is there a way to keep those plaques and proteins from building up in the brain, or is there a way to remove them once they are there? There's a lot of research focused on that, and gene issues, and there's hundreds of research projects going on. That's across the world. This is a worldwide disease. Almost 6 million people in the United States, 50 million people worldwide are estimated to have this disease, and we need to find the cure. It's the silver tsunami.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's a good way to put it, because the more our hair turns silver, the closer we are to getting this.
Yes, that's right.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. You know, I learned a lot today, so I hope all the people out there did too. And if you'd like more information on this, you can contact the Utah chapter, Alzheimer's Association chapter here in St. George online, I'm sure.
Yes.
Or there's probably also a 24/7 hotline for people to call too.
I brought my own little commercial line here. So we have an 800 helpline. Individuals can call that number for help anytime.
Great.
It's in Chicago. We have licensed social care workers on the phone. They'll help people through any situation they have. That's the national number. They'll refer folks right back to our office if that's the best place to go. And then our website, of course, alz.org.
That's a very easy number. Thank you so much, Mike, for joining us.
My pleasure.
And thank you for joining us, and have a great day.